Welcome to Strategic Transformations with Nikki, the podcast where we explore powerful strategies for personal, spiritual, and professional growth. I'm your host, Nikki Cates Miller, and together, we'll uncover the keys to living with purpose, prosperity, and peace. Let's dive in today's journey of strategic transformation. Welcome back to Strategic Transformations with Nikki. I am Nikki Cates Miller, and I am excited that you are joining me again. Thank you so much. So it is July. We are in the middle of 2024, literally, and we are going to be focusing here in the month of July on our bounce back game, focusing on getting past any hindrances for the first part of the year and really refocusing and resetting in order to finish the year strong. It is not too late, my sisters, I promise you. So this morning, I am going to talk about our halfway point in 2024. I think it's a perfect time to reflect on your journey so far, our journeys, and prepare for the months ahead. This month, I want to dive into the concept, well, this week, rather, we're going to dive into the concept of bouncing back. I want to talk about the bounce back because, in modern culture, when we talk about bounce back on social media, we're talking about a mother bouncing back from childbirth quickly, which I think in itself can be a little bit toxic. You tell me what you think. But let's be real here, y'all. All of us as women bounce back every single day, no matter your ethnicity, your culture, your race, your economic status. All of us are required as women in modern day life to bounce back from things that have been disappointing, painful, detrimental, negative, abusive. Bouncing back is a reality for all of us. It's a fact. We are required to just keep moving beyond challenges and setbacks. Generations of women have had to bounce back, generation upon generation, from toxicity, dysfunction, and abusive environments, both at work and at home. Women of all ethnicities bounce back after losing a child, a parent, a spouse, a friend. The list of challenges that women have faced throughout history is vast. There are similarities and commonalities, and there are clear, distinct differences. Yet every single day we get up and we continue to fulfill our roles and responsibilities. It's this resilience, this ability to bounce back, that is something we should acknowledge and celebrate. But the sad part is, y'all, we do this, but we're not always as successful in accomplishing this in our spiritual and our personal growth and development. That's a fact. So I want to start this by talking about how this affects us, okay? Because the ultimate goal this week is, if you will check out the article to get a better, deeper insight into this conversation. We're halfway through the year, and a lot of us came into this year with hopes and aspirations, not just New Year's resolutions, but clear and distinct desires to have a different year, right? I know I'm not alone in this because I was coaching and teaching on this, having conversations and hosting workshops prior to going into the year, preparing us for this. Beyond resolutions, we were setting goals. We were becoming clearer in our alignment and what we really wanted, not what the world wants for us, but what we want for ourselves, for our lives, for our families. We had a distinct desire for 2024, and now that we're halfway through it, are you off course? In certain ways, I am. And I have to reassess and get back on track. That's what you do, y'all. Remember, we talked about this before. Project management, basics of project management. There's a beginning and there's the end. There's a desire that you want to reach, and there's a goal that you want to get to. And everything in between is up to you to keep on track, to manage, to steward, right? Part of that stewardship and that management is reassessing where you are Are you hitting milestones or are you not? What needs to shift? What needs to change to get you there, to keep you on track, to get to your end result? For instance, if you want to lose a certain amount of pounds by December 31st, 2024, where are you at right now on that? Where are you at on your health journey? Where are you at on your diet, your lifestyle? Where are you at? Are you halfway to your goal? Are you still working towards it? Are you being diligent and consistent and intentional in everything that you do to get there? If not, let's no longer normalize beating ourselves up about it and giving up and being defeated. Let's be victorious about it. I'm going to give y'all a story. I have the ultimate respect for women who bounce back. Just in my life alone, I know women who have bounced back from atrocities. If you are in the African American community, ancestrally speaking, we know women that have bounced back from atrocities. Maybe not just the African American community. I can only speak to where I've been raised, but I would assume that in my Latina sisters, my Asian sisters, my indigenous sisters, all of us come from communities that have had to bounce back from atrocities, especially women. Because in all of these communities, women are considered marginalized and secondary. For me, I'll give you an example. I used to manage at Georgia Brown's, the iconic Georgia Brown's restaurant in Washington, D.C., a couple of blocks from the White House. If you know, you know. You meet celebrities working there. I have met and seen several, more than several, but there was only one encounter that gave me goosebumps and teary eyes, meeting them, and it was the mothers of the movement. If you're not familiar with the mothers of the movement, we're talking about women like Trayvon Martin's mother, Michael Brown's mother, Tamir Rice's mother, Jordan Davis's mother, Eric Garner's mother, Sandra Bland's mother, and the list goes on of mothers that lost their babies to unnecessary police violence. We don't know how their bouncing back has been through the years since they lost a piece of themselves, because when you are a mother, your child is a piece of you. But they had to keep breathing, keep pushing, and keep fighting. But unfortunately, their stories are not a unique one. Out of all the celebrities I met, they were the ones that I stood before with tears in my eyes and thanked them and loved on them. Why? They are minority women in the United States of America. They lost their babies. Life is already multi-layered challenging for women, and then minority women, marginalized women, and then they lost their babies on top of everything else. That is a bounce back like no other. And so yes, they had my utmost respect and love, but they are not the only ones. Unfortunately, this is not uncommon for women in marginalized communities. So I say again, all women have to bounce back, no matter what, no matter skin color, where you're located in the world. You are expected to get over it and move on and play your role. But women from marginalized communities often face additional systemic barriers and societal challenges. We must own this reality and support each other in our bounce back journeys. My sisters, let's help each other put our crowns back on and keep moving in 2024. All right, so life is never easy, never. But it's never intended to be hopeless. That wasn't God's intention. With his full intention for our existence, there's always a reason for living and hoping. And I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way, y'all. Trust me, I know. But his intention is always a glimmer of hope, no matter what it looks like or feels like. No matter how small, there's always an inkling or a reason to bounce back. It's not as dire as you think, my sister. Whatever it is that you feel like you fell back on, you can get right back on that horse and keep moving. So how does this apply to our current conversation? We've hit the halfway point of 2024. We have as many days ahead of us as we've had behind us. This is a perfect time to review, refresh, and refocus. So I encourage you to join me this month in taking a deep dive into assessing the past 6 months and resetting for the next 6. Let's breathe life into the new year, into our hopes and dreams for 2024, and shift our focus from where we've fallen off and get back on track. I've mentioned this several times before. The movie Groundhog Day. I actually love that movie. I enjoyed Bill Murray. I'm a big Ghostbusters fan as well. And that movie is about him reliving the same day over and over on Groundhog Day until he learned the lessons that needed to be learned to change his life. Then he finally came out of the loop. It's another movie, a Christmas movie. Oh gosh, Christmas Do-Over. That one is really funny, but that one is the same premise. He had to keep reliving Christmas over until he learned the lessons about what really mattered and what was most important. Then he was finally released from the loop. And that's us, isn't it? We keep going through these same things because we're not learning the lessons. What is it that you need to see right now in July 2024? What lessons do you need to learn so that the rest of this year, when you look up on December 31st, 2024, you feel a sense of accomplishment, pride, gratitude, humility, because you know doggone well you couldn't have done it on your own. Gratefulness, y'all. Peace, prosperity, and purpose as you go into 2025. What does that look like for you? For me, that looks like staying in the game, y'all. I've talked about this multiple times. You are probably familiar with it at this point. For me to finish 2024 having to have stuck it out in this endeavor to be a blessing to the world through sharing my gifts and talents and skills, for me to not have given up on that process or on God or on myself would be a huge accomplishment for me, because I've given up a lot in the past. And it wasn't that I didn't have the struggles mentally and emotionally, because I still do every single day. It's not that I have people around me that fully believe in me, because I do not. I have had to be consistent in fighting the good fight of faith, placing boundaries and maintaining them, protecting my mind, my heart, and my soul from negativity and naysayers. This all requires me to consistently position myself to not have to keep bouncing back from old wounds. Y'all, that's hot off the press right there. All right. Where do y'all need to set boundaries to keep you on track? Where do you need to self-hack? Where do you need to place barbed wire fences against those situations, people, circumstances, bad habits that interfere with you actually moving forward? It's not too late though. We hit this point, we're in the midst of summertime. It's easy to say, I'll just wait and try again next year. No, my sister, I encourage you not to give up on yourself. And surely don't give up on what God has for you, because it's so much greater than you could ever imagine. That's in His Word. All right, so let's focus on practicality here, shall we? I want to give you all some action steps before we move on, because next week we're going to be focusing on the resetting and refocusing aspect. So I want you to take this week, pay attention to the journaling prompts when they come through on Sunday, and I want you to really give yourself the time to sit and think about what you need to leave behind in the last 6 months. What did you learn? If you don't sit and think about what you learned, y'all, you can't grow from it. That's John Maxwell, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. You have to give yourself the time to pause and reflect. If you don't, it's going to go over your head and it's never going to be effective. So I'm encouraging you to sit down and consider your bounce back game right now for 2024. Number 1, acknowledge your feelings. Accept your disappointments, your frustrations. It's okay. It's all of us. None of us are perfect. We never will be. I am encouraging you, sis, to just let it be, okay? Give yourself grace. Don't beat yourself up. Stop blaming others and just let it be. We are imperfect on an imperfect journey, okay? Acknowledging your emotions is the first step towards healing. Healing means you're open for clarity and movement, okay? Journaling. Are you journaling this journey? If you're not, I encourage you to do so, however you want to do it. Do you want to write it out? Do you want to type it out? Do you want to do audio, video notes for yourself? At the end of the year, I always take time before the new year to go back to the very beginning and work my way through the year in my journal, in my notes, because I do all of the above, honestly, whatever is easiest for me in the moment or resonates with me. But you want to give yourself that understanding, okay? And it's pretty amazing to see where you started and where you ended. You're going to start and end regardless. Regardless, you're going to start the year and end it. But you want to end it with peace, prosperity, and purpose. Number 2, set small, achievable goals. I think this is the problem. No, I don't think. I know this is the problem with resolutions. You have this huge thing that you want to accomplish, and it may not seem that big to you, but it can be overwhelming. And most likely it is if you haven't broken it down into small, actionable goals or steps. Start small, sis. And if you fell off, just get back on. That's all you got to do. It's all in your mind. Just get back on track. When you start small, it's easier to stay the course, and it helps you to build momentum and provides a sense of accomplishment. Side note, every time I say that word momentum, I hear MC Hammer in my head gaining momentum. I'm telling my age right now. Look, but we want to build momentum, right? We want to create this avalanche of blessings and peace and purposeful living, because out of all of that is what produces the lives that we dream of. Break larger goals into smaller tasks. Reverse engineer that thing, girl. Wherever you want to end up, you need to work your way backwards and figure out who you need to become and what you need to be doing in order to get there. Decide where you want to be and then work your way backwards. It works for everything, I promise you. Consider it, okay? Number 3, seek support. Are you surrounding yourself with supportive friends, family, or mentors, a community who can encourage you and offer advice when needed? Listen, I talk about this all the time because it was years of my life that I won't say wasted, but hindered progress because I was self-isolating from those who could have offered support. In my life now, in 2024, I have a support system that stems across different lanes. It's not just family. It's not just my friends. It's also colleagues and peers in my industry or in other industries or similar industries. It's in joining certain communities, right? Like my Toastmasters community, in which I am now the president of my chapter. If y'all are local here in the Orlando area, reach out to me. Come check out our Toastmasters chapter, because one of the greatest fears besides death is public speaking. And trust me, if you were to conquer that, it would change everything. Being able to speak to people with confidence and clarity. So just a little side note, little plug there. But no, seriously, you need to find communities. I'm connecting with the Women's United of United Way in the Orlando area and other nonprofits I have been connecting with. I have some calls coming up. It's about creating community, y'all, as well as my community that I've created through Women's Transformation Circles. Look, joining support groups or communities where you can share experiences and gain insights from others offers you different perspectives from your own. You can't flow off of just your own perspectives, y'all. That's not how we were created. We were not created to be one-woman tribes, okay? One-woman villages. We don't know everything. We can only see to a certain point, and all of us have blind spots. We need each other. So, are you surrounding yourself with the proper support system? If not, go out and find it. I had to go out and find it. Initially, my family and friends were not that support system. it took me changing and going out and finding what I needed in other places where I began to see that begin to evolve in those closest to me. People can't give what they don't have, and that will hinder your journey. It will. So seek out support, y'all. Our Global Women's Transformation Collective is a great community to start forging those connections. So if you haven't already, make sure that you join my mailing list or one of the meetup groups or the Facebook group, because we're going to be releasing information about migrating all of you over into our official Global Women's Transformation Collective community online. And from there, starting in August, we will start hosting in-person and online events and opportunities through there, all in one place. And it will be a great place for you to connect with others, as well as myself and my team and my collaborators and so forth. So yeah, seek community, y'all. It's something you do, not something you wait for. Number 4, practice self-care. Prioritize activities that rejuvenate and energize you, whether it's a hobby, exercise, or relaxation. Ensure you are getting enough rest, eating well, and engaging activities that promote mental, spiritual, and physical health and wellness. A holistic approach, y'all. Y'all know I'm all about holistic empowerment. That's my main focus for everything, is holistic empowerment, because everything is interconnected, okay? So you got to go out, you got to figure out what works for you, right? For me, I love things that I can do on my own, where I can introspect and I can just recharge my energy as an introvert, doing something that makes me feel at peace. Most of the time, mindless activities, right? But then also, I'm finding other ways to do this as well, interacting with other people, group type situations where we go and do things as a group. Look, you have to find what works for you, but you won't ever know until you step out there. Sis, go get a hobby. Okay? Get a hobby. Just try something. If you have a small inkling about it, just try it. If you don't like it, at least you tried, and you can find something else. But become intentional about it, y'all. I did not start truly prioritizing caring for myself until this year. And mostly it was because others made me to feel like I was being vain by wanting that. And so I didn't know any better. And so I put my needs on the back burner for everyone else's. And even when I thought I wasn't doing that anymore, I still was doing it. But now I prioritize my self-care in every single way, because none of this moves forward without me being at my optimal best. And I cannot give my best to you all if I'm not at my best. Regardless who understands that and who doesn't, I am now my own priority. I was waiting on others to prioritize me, and it never happened, y'all. You have to prioritize yourself. And then prayerfully, God will send people in your life who will also prioritize you as well. But if not, He got us and we got us. All right. Number 5, learn from setbacks. Reflect on what went wrong and identify the lessons learned. We talked about this. Use these insights to make better decisions moving forward. Embrace your setbacks as opportunities for growth and learning rather than failures. I want to be clear here. It is not failure unless you quit. That was an intentional impregnated pause. I want y'all to hear that again. It is not failure unless you quit. So get back up. Get back to it. All right. Number 6, maintain a positive mindset. Focus on positive affirmations and visualization outcomes. Listen, I know that sounds very new agey, but the reality is that our thoughts are created by images anyway. If I say dog to you, what happens in your mind? You see a dog. If I say boat, you see a boat. If I say ocean, you see the ocean. What are you allowing to manifest in your mind? Visually manifest, okay? Are you seeing yourself stuck in what you've already seen? Are you hopeful that you will see what you desire to see moving forward? Y'all, You got to start seeing that thing, because if you can't see it, you can't achieve it. It's true. It's so true. If you can't see God placing you in that space, how can he do it? There's no faith. Without faith, nothing is possible without faith. That's the word of God. And that's facts for life. What are you believing? You're believing what you can see, okay? What are you seeing in your mind's eye? You need to replace your negative thoughts with constructive ones and practice gratitude daily. Gratitude is the key. When you're stuck in the past, remembering what you're grateful for today, that brings you out. It makes a world of a difference. I was listening to a video, and I believe it was Lisa Nichols that said that when she's extremely stressed, before her feet hit the ground in the morning, she thinks of 10 things she's grateful for, and they can't cost money. That's powerful. My mind said 10 is a lot. But the truth is, in most of our lives, I don't think 10 is too much. When you literally go through the list of just having the breath of life, each one of your children, your spouse, your partner, your friends, your family are all still here. They did not pass away throughout the night. You still have clean air to breathe. The sun is still in the sky. Oh man, have I hit 10 yet? You still have income coming in. And if you don't, you still have everything that you need, even if it's not exactly what you want in this season. You can move your body. You can think for yourself. You can speak. Gosh, that has to be at least 10 right now. It's not that hard to come up with 10 things to be grateful for in our everyday lives if we're breathing. Listen, that is the key to remind you that you're not where you were and you're not where you want to be, but you're here and you still have the ability to get there. All right? That is a positive mindset if I have never heard one. Number 7, stay flexible. Be open to adjusting your plans and strategies as needed. Be willing to pivot, y'all. Flexibility allows you to adapt to changing circumstances. I think that's something that closed-minded people cannot fathom. I have closed-minded people around me, and to them, I am inconsistent. But in reality, I'm very consistent and I'm very intentional. But I also pay attention, and I will pivot in a heartbeat. I am flexible and adjustable and willing to pivot when necessary, to keep moving forward or to avoid obstacles or to overcome them. And you have to be flexible like that, y'all. When you have an open mindset, you are open to adjustments. You are open to the fact that I may have thought I knew in that moment, but I was wrong. Or I may have tried this and it was an error. So let's try that and see if that's the right way to go. The only way to do any of that, y'all, is to be flexible. Okay. You cannot bounce back and have a closed mindset. Closed mindset says this happened and it affected me and all is not well. That's not what we're doing here, sis. You're going to keep getting up and you're going to keep going. You are not quitting. So understanding that setbacks are often temporary. They are. Storms do not last forever. And keep moving forward despite the obstacles. Committed. Not just trying. Committed to forward movement, okay? Number 8, focus on what you can control. Concentrate your efforts where you can make a difference and let go of things beyond your control. This helps reduce feelings of helplessness and increases your sense of urgency. Sis, focus on what you can control. The only common denominator in every aspect of your life, every hat that you wear, every role that you play, every room that you step in, every relationship, every piece of work that you do, there's one common denominator, and that common denominator on this planet is you. That is the only person you can control. Life is continually shifting and changing. The world around us is constantly evolving. The people around us are constantly changing. Our relationships are shifting and moving. The only one that you can control is you. So focus there, sis. Stop letting all this other stuff steal your joy and your peace and your energy. Put that towards loving, learning, appreciating, and elevating yourself. Okay? And I'm not talking about from a place of vanity and self-absorbedness. I'm talking about from a place of spiritual growth and understanding that God created you to be who you are. You are his amazing and beautiful workmanship, made in his image and likeness. You have a reason for being here. Okay? You. Just like them, but you can't control them. You can only control you. And he gives you the ability to do that. Okay? So, focus on what you can control. I know all of this might seem overwhelming. A little overwhelming. I get it. But come back and listen to this later after you've done some thinking about it. Read the article. And just remember, life is challenging. Life be lifing, y'all. It is a challenge. And you're going to have to bounce back anyway. But instead of being dragged into the change, how about we start to initiate the things that need to be changed, or the things that need to be left behind, or the resets that need to take place to keep us moving in the direction that we are aligned to move in. Why not do so in a way that leads you along the path of fulfillment instead of dread and misery? It's a choice, sis. The choice is yours. You can choose the bounce back that will bring about a year like one you've never seen before. Or you can stay in your mess, in your head, where you are reliving the same things over and over again. New year, same people, same situation, same circumstances. We all know what that feels like and looks like. I want better for you. Do you want better for you? I'll just leave that right there. All right, so stay with me this month as we find the strength and power within to cooperate with transformation. With the right personal strategies, we can breathe life into our days and empowerment into our steps. All right. So before we go, y'all know I love a good question. I know we post a journaling prompt at the end of the week, but I'm going to give you some stuff to think about as you're considering how to apply this for this week. How do you typically react to setbacks? I want you to think about your patterns and habits of how you would typically respond to difficulties, and be honest with yourself. This is between you and the Lord and nobody else, okay? But let's keep it real. How do you respond, and how can you improve your resilience and your bounce back game? Woe is me keeps us planted where we are. We want to be moving. We want to be fluid, all right? So no more woe is me. What small steps can you take today to start bouncing back from a recent setback? Small steps, remember? Small, actionable steps. If you fell off on your health journey, that's okay. Starting today, okay, we'll say tomorrow, because today, I'm recording this on the 4th of July, so today. You'll be hearing this on Saturday, so we'll say starting... Everyone says start Monday, but I'm going to say start Monday, even though technically you should be starting when you hear this on Saturday. But what can you do? Small steps to start bouncing back from recent setbacks and challenges. And who in your support network can you reach out to for encouragement and advice? If you need that person in your life, join me on Friday nights. Join our community on Friday nights when we have these conversations, and we provide a safe space for us to have these conversations about our personal transformations. How can you, this is a coaching word, y'all, reframe or look at differently that recent setback and look at it as an opportunity for growth? What lesson did you learn from it? What did you learn? It was something that you learned. Okay? And finally, what is a positive affirmation or mantra that you can use to maintain a hopeful mindset during these times where you have to focus on resetting, refocusing, and bouncing back? I'm not going to give that to you. I want you to do that as your homework. I want you to find something for yourself. I heard a quote and they said, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Y'all can't have that one. I want you to find another one. All right. So we're going to wrap up for this week. Thank you so much for listening. Next week, we'll be focusing on the next step, which is refreshing and refocusing. We may have some guests. contributors next week to help us focus on the physical, mental, and emotional aspects of that. But for now, let's locate on the map where we are so far. Are we off course? If so, what do we need to do to get back on course? And again, join me on Friday for our weekly check-in talk about our journeys. And don't forget to listen and stay connected, all right? Be empowered, my sister. Be encouraged. Choose to be happy. Know, love, and be transformed. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Strategic Transformations with Nikki. I hope you found today's discussion both insightful and inspiring. Remember, transformation isn't just a destination, it's a journey, and every step you take brings you closer to the empowered life you envision. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other amazing women in your network. For more resources, strategies, and to stay connected with me, follow me on social media at I am Nikki Cates, and visit my website at www.nikkicates.com. Don't forget to join our community of like-minded women who are dedicated to strategizing, transforming, and empowering each other every day. Until next time, keep strategizing, keep transforming, and keep empowering yourself and those around you. You have the power to create incredible change in your life and work. I'm Nikki signing off. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.